So Gavin Newsom went on Charlie Kirk's podcast, and just with that alone, he lost my vote. I'm done. I'm out. But they had to hop on the conversation du jour, which is women of the T variety. And I hate having to make that differentiation, but y'all understand, I hate that. So my apologies to my friends that I have to use that. Like, I hate that so much. Okay. And I just want to point out, why is it men that keep talking about this? They have no right, just like they have no right to talk about our healthcare decisions when they are not women. They don't have women's bodies. They're not doctors or not scientists, but they're chock full of opinions based on their faith. This is no different. I am so tired of men trying to tell me that I have to be afraid of other women, that I need to be afraid of who's in the stall next to me, that it's not fair. But if these women are in the sports, let me decide. Let me say if I don't like it. Let my daughter tell me if she doesn't like it. But you, as a man, do not get to tell me what I need to be afraid of, or that I need to have a problem with that, or that you think it's unfair. Doesn't matter to you. Not your sports, not your bathroom. And yes, I know they have convinced a handful of team pick-me's to make that their whole personality too. So they come on here and go, Democrats say they care about women, but they're letting men in women's bathrooms and sports. Like, I'm glad that you think who's in the stall next to me is the same as not allowing me to get medical care. Like, I'm glad that to you, that's the same subject. Who's in the bathroom? I don't care who's in the bathroom with me. It could be a man. You know what? As long as it's not a Chad with a cross on his neck, I don't care who's in the bathroom. That's the only one I don't want to see. That's the only one I'm afraid of, is some dude coming in there with a Bible and a cross. That's the one I'm afraid of in the bathroom. Anyone else, I am fine. Absolutely. I don't care. I do not care. And as for the sports, as for real athletes, look, I just had a conversation with a Chad about this the other day. He was trying to convince me that it's not fair because, they believe all men are just stronger and better at everything. So it's not fair. If they don't understand how hormones work, they don't understand they don't understand any of these things. In their minds, it's like some pro wrestler that's just putting on a wig and like, I want to compete against women. Like that South Park episode. And you're like, come on, that's so offensive. That's not what it is. And the fact that you have the audacity to stand here and go, well, yeah, I might be a man, but what if I thought I was a woman and then I could speak on it? And then he literally tells me that, well, since I could decide to be a T-woman, that means I can speak on this because what if I was? And so then you're saying it would be fair if I just decide to do that and I decide to call myself a woman and then I go play basketball. I'm like, you think that you would beat women in the WNBA automatically just because you're a man? And then that's an extreme example. I'm not saying professionals. I'm like, but this thing, you're like, oh, automatically I'm going to beat every woman out there. No, not necessarily. That's why we aren't as worried about it as y'all seem to be, and you want us to be worried about it too. I don't see any of this conversation about men that fall into that category. Men that might, I hate saying that, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? They're not worried about that. I don't see any podcasters talking about how they're afraid for a man to be in the bathroom with them, how they're afraid of a man to play in their sports. There's no discussion about that. They completely forget that men of that community exist. No worry about them whatsoever. Their sole focus is on speaking outside of their assholes about how women should feel about other women in bathrooms and sports, and that needs to stop. 100%. 100%. That is a woman's conversation, just like our healthcare is our conversation, not theirs. I'm so tired of hearing men talk about their feelings about women in sports or women in bathrooms. Not your business. And no, I don't care if you have a wife or daughters. Still not your business. That thing where you try to make it your business because you have a wife or daughters, it's still not you and your body. So shove it. That's all.